Namaste, Jai Hind and welcome to this edition of The Right Stand. I'm Anand Narasimhan. Bharat's 17-year-old Grandmaster Gukesh D scripts history by winning the candidates chess tournament and becomes the youngest ever at just 17 to become the challenger to the world title. He's only the second Indian after Vishwanathan Anand to win the candidates. Gukesh D broke Garry Kasparov's record of winning the event at the age of 22 that stood for at least 40 years. And Gukesh D now will challenge the reigning world chess champion Tang Liren. Meanwhile, the IMF has praised Bharat for maintaining fiscal discipline in the election year, affirming robust economic performance and status as a global economic bright spot. The IMF has said that Bharat's economy is thriving with a growth rate of 6.8% and a downward inflation trend reflecting sound macro fundamentals. Reports also suggest that Apple is betting big on a rising Bharat. The company is set to employ 5 years by scaling up production in our country. Apple's manufacturing ecosystem has over 1.5 lakh employees in Bharat currently. Usha Uthup, Mithun Chakravarti have been conferred with the Padma Bhushan at the Rashtrapati Bhavan in the field of arts. Former Vice President Venkaiah Naidu received the Padma Vibhushan in the field of public affairs. 132 others were also honoured with Padma Bhushan and Padma Vibhushan. Moving on, ladies and gentlemen, and setting up debate discussion number 1 here on The Right Stand this Monday edition. Are all citizens in this country equal? Or is one section more equal than the others? Do some sections require better representation and a level playing field that was denied to them in the past? Sure, some sections do need a helping hand of society. But that's the basis of also many quotas in our country. The Congress party in its manifesto now wants to ensure this affirmative action if they are voted to power. They have promised to redistribute wealth after a thorough survey, and that's the latest flashpoint between the Congress and the BJP. Addressing a rally in Rajasthan's Baswada on Sunday, Prime Minister Narendra Modi hit out at the Congress over its wealth redistribution survey promise. He said that if any party, if voted to power, would distribute the country's wealth to infiltrators and those who have more children. He doubled down on that attack on Monday when he was addressing a public gathering in Aligarh. He made a reference to the Mangal Sutra as a sign of a married Hindu woman. The Prime Minister said that the Congress wanted to sell even that and give it away to people they deemed fit. The Congress party, meanwhile, has taken strong objection to the comments made by the Prime Minister himself, even knocking on the door of the Election Commission to asking them to take cognizance and act. Listen in to the Prime Minister's allegations against the Congress party first up.
आपकी संपत्ति सरकार को हटने का अधिकार है क्या? क्या आपकी संपत्ति को, आपने मेहनत करके कमाई हुई संपत्ति को सरकार को ऐंठने का अधिकार है क्या? और पहले जब उनकी सरकार थी उन्होंने कहा था कि देश की संपत्ति पर पहला अधिकार मुसलमानों का है. इसका मतलब ये संपत्ति इकट्ठी करके किसको बांटेंगे? जिनके ज्यादा बच्चे हैं उनको बांटेंगे, घुसपैठियों को बांटेंगे और उनको बांटेंगे जिनको मनमोहन सिंह जी की सरकार ने कहा था कि संपत्ति पर पहला अधिकार मुसलमानों का है. हमारी माताओं बहनों के पास सोना होता है. ये सोना अवसरों पर सिर्फ शरीर पर पहन करके प्रभाव पैदा करने के लिए नहीं होता है. हमारे देश में माताओं बहनों के पास जो सोना होता है, कितना ही कम क्यों न हो, वो स्त्री धन होता है, पवित्र माना जाता है, कानून भी उसकी रक्षा करता है. अब इनकी नजर कानून बदलकर हमारी माताओं बहनों की संपत्ति छीनने का भी खेल खेला जा रहा है. उनका मंगल सूत्र, उस पर उन लोगों की नजर है.
So that was the Prime Minister's comments, clearly little tempered between Sunday and Monday, but the focus very clear, doubling down on this aspect that the Congress's manifesto aims to snatch your wealth, take it away from you and redistribute to somebody else. Your money, your hard-earned wealth is going to be taken away from you by the government who's getting to get into your homes, understand every single naya paisa of wealth that you have and take it away from you and redistribute it towards those. And he put it out there. But is the Congress and its case strong? Or is the BJP's charge of appeasement valid? Let's try and get you some facts first. Here's why the Congress finds itself in a tricky position. There are at least two instances, one in the speech and one later in the letter, when the grand old party spoke of a survey and redistribution of wealth. The first is in the section of the Congress's manifesto released earlier this month. In the Nyaya Patra, the Congress has promised economic empowerment of minorities. They said they will strengthen the agenda for affirmative action and ensure that minorities get their fair share of opportunities in education, healthcare and employment, among others. Rahul Gandhi's remarks during his rally in Hyderabad gave the BJP further ammunition. He said that if voted to power, Congress will conduct a financial and institutional survey. So, we'll strengthen agenda or for affirmative action, will distribute India's wealth to these sections. Kiski kitni sankhya bhari. He pitched that again. Will ensure minorities receive their fair share, says the Congress's manifesto. Rahul says historic step to ascertain distribution of wealth. Again, wealth will be distributed to various sections based on their numbers. Now, is this a historic step or is it just going to commit harakiri? Taking somebody else's wealth, giving it to somebody else? Can the government do that via affirmative action, and what does affirmative action mean? Listen to what Rahul Gandhi had to say.
मैं आपसे सिर्फ ये कह रहा हूं, आप जग जाओ। आपको लूटा जा रहा है, 24 घंटे आपको लूटा जा रहा है और आप देखते जा रहे हो। मैनिफेस्टो में हमने क्रांतिकारी काम करना है। पहला काम जाति जनगणना, इससे सबकी गिनती हो जाएगी, सबको पता लग जाएगा किसकी कितनी आबादी। उसके बाद इकोनॉमिक सर्वे होगा, फाइनेंशियल सर्वे होगा, हिंदुस्तान की सब संस्थाओं का सर्वे होगा। सबको पता लग जाएगा हिंदुस्तान के धन में किसकी कितनी भागीदारी है।
Tom Vadakan, national spokesperson of the BJP with us. Vivek Srivastava, leader of the CPI with us. Lokesh Jindal, political analyst, leans towards the Congress party with us. And Arun Anand, columnist and author with us. Namaste, Jai Hind. Thank you to everyone for joining us here on this edition of The Right Stand. My first question to Mr. Tom Vadakan of the BJP. Tom Vadakan ji, Prime Minister perhaps a tad too harsh? Is the Congress really going to snatch the wealth of the people?
Well, Anand, we are all in the communication business. When you address a rally, you have to communicate of the ground reality, the complexities of the committees and how it is to be distributed. The new marks on the block, Rahul Gandhi, has got it all mixed up. He talks about affirmative action. Now, let me plead his case. What does he mean by affirmative action? When he categorically says in Hyderabad that very categorically it deals, affirmative action is for everybody who's downtrodden. But this affirmative action is directed towards a minority. Now, that has also been, clarified in the chain of command when Dr. Manmohan Singh said that the Muslims have the first right on the resources. I mean, it is verbatim. It is not the Prime Minister saying this. And what he has quoted is Manmohan Singh ji's quote. And he said, look, this distribution involves to people who have so many children. Now, that could be anybody. Now, the point remains, how do you go about this distribution? The litmus test, Ahmed, this is my view, can only be done if charity begins at home. And that is what the Congress party must do. Congress Working Committee must declare their assets, their wealth, to a judicial committee that oversees the entire exercise with investigative power to begin with, and declare their wealth nationally, internationally, the all kinds of wealth that they have accumulated over 70, 80 years. If this is put on record and then start the process of redistribution of that wealth, we will be satisfied that this is they are setting an example. So Rahul Gandhi should start from home. I don't think Priyanka Vadra would agree to this. But anyway, the new Marx that is on the block has decided to do that. So let them do the litmus test with themselves first and then experiment with the entire country. Because this exercise which they are talking about, if this is, you can call it Robin Hood kind of a system, but this is pure dacoity. You take wealth of somebody who has made it from sweat and blood. His property or whatever he has made is assessed by a third party and then distributed to whom? To people, like Manmohan Singh says, to a particular community. Now, is that acceptable? Is this part of democratic concept? Is this part of our constitution? I mean, these are the larger questions Rahul Gandhi must answer. Every time election comes, he says something and then he knows because he is not going to come to power.
Right.
He can get away with it.
Okay. There is a larger, let Lokesh Jindal respond. Lokesh Jindal.
Well, I can understand the compulsion to defend these statements. However, if we consider the ground realities, we see that today 1% of India's richest, they control 40% of total resources of the country. And this is highest since 1961. 1961 it was 22%, and that was highest since 1922. So today, when we consider after 100 years, we see there is more and more income inequality. There is larger concentration of wealth in the hands of few, deprivation of basic amenities to a large section of society, and a gross social and economic justice. Please tell me, sir, where is Rahul Gandhi wrong? If you talk about the Indian Constitution, Article 38 of the Indian Constitution, it calls for social and economic justice. If talking about social and economic justice is wrong, if talking about a fair redistribution of resources in such a manner that there must be fair and equitable accessibility and consumption of wealth, then I mean, there's something wrong with your understanding of our constitution, and there's something that is fundamentally wrong with your understanding of idea of justice. And the remarks that have been made that the party is eyeing at Mangal Sutra and all, that amounted to a severe violation of model code of conduct. And a position who's the Prime Minister of this country, the highest of all positions, stating in such a manner is deplorable, sir. That is something which cannot be justified in any manner.
Correct.
It amounts to a severe hate speech.
So, those who are saying that what the Prime Minister said amounts to a severe hate speech don't believe in practicing what they preach.
No,
I'm just asking those who are claiming this, they don't believe in practicing what they preach. So they can go ahead and say whatever they want. They can go ahead and do whatever they want, and they will not apologize, despite being oftentimes even held and sermonized by the courts themselves.
Anand,
and they can go ahead and say whatever they want, but somebody else should toe the line. They can go
Anand,
stand on the streets and say, call up whoever and say, because your name is this, you are in this place, and whoever is your owner, whatever based on that person's name, go ahead and brand that person whatever, and all of that is par for course.
Anand, we must condemn all such forms of statements.
I'm just asking you. No, I'm just asking you. Is there this whole aspect of let's practice what we preach? If you believe an equitable distribution of wealth, sir, should the party who's espousing it in its manifesto practice what it preaches? Is there an equitable distribution of wealth, and is there democratization of power even within the party itself, sir?
First of all, the equitable distribution of wealth has more trend.
I'm asking if you're trying to democratize the economy and democratize power and democratize control, is it democratized even within the Congress party? Is it even walking and talking its own, practicing what it preaches? Is a question that Mr. Tom Vadakan also asked. Let's just bring in Vivek Srivastava and Arun Anand. Arun Anand, this concept, sir, is neo-economists in the West. About 5 years ago, this was spoken about, where they wanted to democratize economy. What's the neo-left, the neoliberals' answer to the capitalist form of economics? So after Karl Marx and Keynes, was there a newer thought process? And there is a group of economists who came together and said, let's democratize the economy also. Is this possible? And the way the Congress espouses it?
No, actually it is not possible. You see, you tend to, it often happens, analysts like us tend to be very selective with data. And what we do, we try to basically manipulate data. Like my fellow panelist has quoted this 1% thing, but people often forget that 25 crore people have been brought above poverty line, and this is not the Government of India data. This is the World Bank data, and India is absolutely free of acute poverty now. And inflation has largely been kept under control. The average GDP has grown tremendously. India is the third largest economy, and there is no trickle down effect. It's not the trickle down effect. There is a massive effect because the government has plugged in the leakages and the loopholes. So the direct benefit transfer schemes are benefiting the people directly. The problem with Congress party is that it is bereft of any ideology. And right since independence, it has been primarily basically, surviving on Muslim appeasement. So what Prime Minister has done, it is nothing new. If you look at the historic, evolution of things, right since the partition, when Congress surrendered to the radical elements in Muslim League, then you have seen the Shah Bano case, then you have seen in February 2014, just before they're going out of power, they tried to bring an anti-communal violence bill, which would have, wherever riots would have held, Hindus would have been held responsible. So there's nothing new. I think Congress, the problem with Congress is that now it is stretched between two extremes. One is the radical left and second is the radical, Islamization. So that's the problem which Congress is. And what Prime Minister has done, he has just repeated what Dr. Manmohan Singh has said.
Vivek Srivastava?
Yes.
I'm just going to read this. Just tell me whether you agree with this or not. Yeah. Okay. Once you've bought your yacht and private jet, there isn't more you can spend on. So let's just take that money and give it to somebody who does not have a yacht and a private jet. So today you've got enough to run your monthly households, pay your EMIs, and anything extra beyond that should not be yours. Let me take it from you and give it to somebody who does not have what you have. Are you willing to part with your hard-earned money like that?
I agree with this. Yes,
so you're willing to part with your hard-earned money?
It's not just a question of my willing to part.
So,
I'll tell you.
Like tomorrow the government will come back and say, you're wearing a shirt, already somebody does not even have a shirt. How are you wearing a jacket? Come on, give me your jacket, let me give it to the person who does not have a shirt.
Okay, now this is being very frivolous, Anand, but then it was very childish of Mr. Tom Vadakan to say, "Pehle Congress wala aakarke khada hokarke apne wealth ko de." This is not how systems work. He needs to study what communism is all about, what socialism is all about, how the models work, what Nehruvian economics was, and what this country was before 1991. When Dr. Manmohan Singh became the finance minister.
Yeah, unable to pay its bills, had nothing in its coffer, and liberalization was the only option. Otherwise, you would have been bankrupt overnight. That was the situation in 1991.
Let me speak.
So that model, how it worked, we saw.
Agreed. That is a different debate.
That is the debate.
That is the way you think. I may not think that way. I thought. Yeah, see, now the fact is that we are back into, the Congress wants Nehruvian economics to be back. That is what we feel. And we welcome the statement of Mr. Rahul Gandhi. Okay, and as far as frivolous questions like कांग्रेस वाला अपना घर देगा कि नहीं देगा, विवेक श्रीवास्तव अपना घर देगा कि नहीं देगा, वो ऑटोमेटिकली होगा. When the laws are made and laws
So
are
you are
implemented,
making,
you
so
have
you
a
are
land stealing
asking,
act.
so you are making,
I want-
you are
no,
saying
no.
you're all right if the Congress and the left make Bharat a police state. You're all right if the Congress and the left decide what
not a
every
police
Bharatiya
state.
will do.
What
We
is
will
police
make
state?
the
It
way
is
we
not a-
draft the
no, sorry.
constitution, the way
This
we
is not
make
a
the
police
laws,
state.
the way we decide
This
to
is
take
not a-
everything
this
from
is not-
is
this is
all
not-
perfect
no,
because
no,
that's
no.
affirmative
You have to
action
let me
in
speak
the
now,
interest
Anand.
of
This is not
everybody
correct.
else. Anybody else thinks
No,
of anything
you are
else is
wrong.
all Tanashahi, is all
नहीं, sir, आप
is all
गलत कह रहे
fascism
हैं।
and dictatorship.
Sir, you are, please let me speak. Please let me speak.
Yeah, please, ji.
There is no concept of police state. It is the question of economic reforms. It is a question of socialism. It is a question of distribution of wealth. For example, I think everybody sitting on the panel knows how many houses can you own in Delhi in the name of one person. Please let me know. Is there a land ceiling act in this country or not? आप कितने खेत खरीद सकते हैं, Tom Vatican? Please let me know. So it is already many things are in place. The resources are limited and the concentration in only a few hands cannot be allowed. And if that starts happening the way it has happened since 2014 till date, when a few people are running the show, I mean the reverse has to start.
Have
And
more
welfare
number
things
of
have to be
people
started
been
off.
alleviated
More
out of
taxes have to be
poverty?
put.
Have more number of millionaires been
Sir, 80
created?
crore
Have
people-
more people become
Anand ji,
richer
80
than
crore
poorer?
people-
Sir, that
Sir,
80 crore people,
no, I don't
the
agree.
grains
I don't agree
which are
because
being
80
stored
crore
in the
people in this
granary
country-
have been produced by Bharati only. It's
No,
not
sir,
by,
sorry.
it's not come by abracadabra and,
Sir,
and
sir,
somebody
sir,
sitting there and
sir.
manufacturing their grains and
Agree,
filling up the
agree.
granary,
Anand ji.
right? So it's come from here and it's getting redistributed to
Bilkul
those
theek.
who don't need to spend money on
let
those
me-
grains
no,
which
it
would
is
have
not.
either rotten.
It is not. It
which
is
would
not
have
being
rotten.
redistributed, sir.
It would have rotten.
Sir, 80 crore people had to be fed by the government of India.
Sir.
80 crore people had to be fed by the government of India.
Sir,
80 crore people got the ration
you
from
are,
the government
you
of
are
India.
anyway deciding to do
What
the same
poverty
thing.
line are we talking about? What
you
about the
you are-
hunger index?
So
What
when
about
you
the
say
happiness index?
redistribute
What about
wealth,
the standard
when
of
you say
living?
when you say redistribute wealth, that's not taking money from a few handful of
Yes.
few crores of people and distributing to a larger crore of people. So that's great economics. But if there is food
No,
that's
it is an
rotting in our
entire-
granary
it is an
and that's
entire
feeding
economic
those
model.
people who don't need to spend money on food, but that money is spent on their other lives and increasing, uplifting them from taking them
Sir,
out of
the-
multidimensional
it was
poverty,
given- it
that's
was-
poor economics.
No, the food
that's,
was given-
that's a government
the
having
food-
to feed the people.
No.
Government will make laws to take money from the people and
government has to
redistribute
feed the
that
people
money.
because
That's
the
all
people
right.
are not employed.
But government is distributing food that's rotting in our granaries. That's poor. That's
If the
absolutely
people had
bad
jobs,
policy.
you don't have to feed them, you can export.
Sir,
If
here you are
people
not
had- if
creating
people had
jobs. You are
you don't have
saying
to feed
people
them.
who have
You
jobs,
can-
who
you
are
can
earning
export
good
the
money, you are
grains.
taking the
You
money
can
from
export
them
the grains.
and giving it to those people who don't have
Sir, आप
jobs.
रेशन को एक्सपोर्ट करिए ना. Sir, if 80 crore people in this country don't have jobs and they can't buy their own food,
So
it is shameful for the government.
should people
And in
be
case
fed in
they
our
were in a
country
position
given
to
food
do it,
security
you could have
and
exported the same
alleviated out
grains
of
out.
hunger and the government and then you're saying no, on the one hand you're saying redistribute wealth, on the other hand you're
No, but
arguing that
I
the
agree.
government should create
Fine.
more
So
wealth
we all
by
agree with
exporting
what
all the
Rahul
food
Gandhi says.
outside.
So agreed.
No,
So
you
that
are
means-
saying, you
that
are saying,
means
you
you're
are
also
saying,
agreeing with what Rahul
you are
Gandhi
saying,
says.
you are saying, I am saying you have a problem with distributing food and you're criticizing the government. On the other hand, you're saying I'll take all your money and I'll
No.
hold it and I'll decide who should get it. That's all right. What logic are you using, sir?
It is a question of taxation.
Sir, sir, the history.
There has to be an equal distribution of
Vivek ji,
resources
sometimes-
with all the citizens in the country.
See, it's okay to try and confuse and it's
आप भी राहुल गांधी से agree कर रहे हैं तो अच्छी बात है।
सर मैं किसी से एग्री कर रहा हूँ, डिसएग्री कर रहा हूँ, मैं लॉजिक पूछ रहा हूँ। जो फंडे आप एस्पाउस कर रहे हैं 1947 से 1997 1990 हम लोग भिखारी हो गए थे सर. The government had to liberalize.
नहीं सर,
We had to change the economic model so that we could stand up on our feet. That's exactly what's happened. You espouse the same model and we know what happened. History is documented. Sir, don't try and get make it BJP. 60 years, large part of it. Sir, large part of it till the time the 90s happened, sir, till the time liberalization happened, there was no BJP in power. There was no BJP in power. Arun Anand wants to come in. Arun Anand, 1 minute. Arun Anand wants to come. Arun Anand and then.
It's very ironical that the left-back trade unions were the one who destroyed, or who were the major stumbling block in terms of India building a manufacturing base. And hence, there was a problem of job creation. And now, those who are the votaries of the left. So now they are crying hoarse about jobs not being created. So one is that. Second is that, look at what left did to West Bengal when they were in power. Look at how they destroyed the, industrial base there. It was one of the biggest industrial bases in the South Asian region. and in 20 years time they completely wiped it out, and West Bengal has not been able to recover from that. So they should not be talking about broad. And if you look at the job creation data, look at the EPFO numbers, the Employee Provident Fund account numbers. More than 2 crore accounts have been added over the last 2-3 years. So how these accounts have been added? Of course, the jobs have been created, then it has been added.
And not just that, Lokesh Jindal, who would you want to trust? Somebody who tells you that I will create an environment for you to earn your money, work hard and you make money and you grow rich and I'll allow you to make your money. Or somebody who turns around and stands there and says, don't worry, when we come to power, I'll put 1 lakh rupees into your account. On what basis, from where?
Anand, you're performing a wonderful job as an anchor. And as with time, there is a rate at which we are all earning money. Imagine a scenario where a very hard-working individual puts in the best of the skills, abilities, time, everything, and gets something very meager. And then there is another individual with all forms of crony tools at their disposal. And the amount of wealth that they appropriate is way far more, hundreds and thousands and lakhs of times more than what my dear friend Anand earns. Wait a minute.
Okay.
Now, when I talk about justice, a common man over here, he asks a question.
That's not justice, sir. That's not justice, sir. That's not justice, Lokesh Jindal. Justice will be when you create opportunity for merit to thrive. You create opportunity for merit. You don't decide that I will take money from somebody because he's got more of it and I'll go and give it to somebody who's got less of it, because that's how my sense of justice is. Sir, sense of justice gives me opportunity, that gives merit that opportunity. It does not accord quotas based on kiski kitni sankhya bhari. It affords opportunity based on kiski kitni kabiliyat bhari. That's what, sir. That's where the basic problem is, sir. You have to create a situation where no sir, you are trying to create a model of a socialist model versus capitalist model. I am saying in Bharat, sir, you create an environment where merit thrives, not quotas. Merit thrives, not inferior. Sir, you are creating a situation where some people will sit together and decide who should get what money and who should not earn how much, because I think so. That's what the law, that's how the law will be designed.
With respect to life expectancy, with respect to mean years of schooling, with respect to other parameters.
Sir, you promise to create world-class schools. You create an infrastructure where you create world-class teachers. You create an environment where you are able to create opportunity for entrepreneurship so that more jobs are created, and you give people who have trained, skilled, and you give an environment where people can earn their hard-earned money, sir. You don't give doles to anybody.
You need an increase in social sector spending.
No, sir.
What is the overall expenditure in education?
You need to create an opportunity. That you don't tell by telling the wealthy, I'm going to take away your wealth. No, sir. You don't tell the successful. You don't tell the Kabil and the Kamyab. You create more Kabil people, sir. Kamyabi apne aap aayegi. You are trying to take away money from the Kamyab and say, how dare you be Kamyab and how dare you be Kabil? Yes, 1 minute, Tom Wadakan. But this whole thing about Ghuspetiya, this whole thing about kiske kitne zyada bacche hain, who is deciding that? Now are we knowing that? Now, so is the BJP now saying, all right, if the Congress is going to play an overt game of appeasing Muslims, we are going to go and tell the Hindus, tum khatre mein ho. Is that the game the BJP is going to play now?
This is not about creating insecurity for any community. This is about the illegal migrants that have come. Globally, there's a huge issue with illegal migrants. When they change the demography of a particular state, region, you have to create new economic indices for them. And in that process, development takes the backseat. What is happening in variety of states like West Bengal, the inflow of these illegal immigrants have to be controlled. But what is happening there is encouragement of these illegal migrants. I am not mentioning any caste community. Let me complete this. This is a burden on the economy. The Prime Minister was trying to make it very clear that you are not going to distribute wealth of this nation to illegal migrants. Full stop.
Sir, in that case, sir, we already have nearly 4 crore estimate submit. How are you going to weed out these 4 crore and how are you going to stop any more from coming in? That's a job that the internal security mechanism of our country, the government at the center has to ensure that our borders are no longer porous, and if anywhere dares to enter illegally, they are shot down or they are forced to go back. You have to make a strong deterrent. So we've got to deal with that. Yes, there are ghuspetiyas. Yes, there are illegals. Yes, they are encroaching upon our and they are becoming parasites. But is that a problem? That's the government of the day which has been in power for 10 years waking up to only today? This has been something that's happened, that's happening at least for nearly 3 decades now, if not more, sir.
But Anand,
I have to pause. I have to pause on that note. We are paucity of time on the show. We got to also turn our attention to Kerala. There is a big event that happened. Perhaps escaped the notice of the national media, but this is significant, ladies and gentlemen. One of the biggest festivals in Kerala, the Thrissur Pooram, derailed, disrupted. Why? Was there a larger motive behind what has happened? The commissioner of Thrissur now finds himself transferred along with the assistant commissioner. But is this going to hurt the left? Stay with us.
The Lok Sabha election campaign got heated on Sunday as Prime Minister Narendra Modi chose to take on Rahul Gandhi's April 6 statement in Hyderabad, which had promised a financial and an institutional survey for the redistribution of the country's wealth and jobs. Now, top BJP sources say on the Prime Minister's statement that the Prime Minister messages around 3 statements from the Congress camp which are very much on record. Number 1, Rahul Gandhi's statement on April 6 about the wealth redistribution promise. Manmohan Singh's statement in 2006 about the first right of minorities, and the Congress manifesto that speaks about minorities getting their fair share. The BJP is saying that the Congress needs to explain what its intentions are through such statements and promises. Rahul Gandhi had mentioned the redistribution as a sequel to the already promised caste census. To quote Mr. Rahul Gandhi from his April 6th rally in Hyderabad, "We will do a caste census so that the backwards, SCs, STs, poor of the general caste and minorities get to know how much they account for in the country. After that," Mr. Rahul Gandhi said, "we will do a financial and an institutional survey to find who holds the country's wealth, what section holds it, and then we will undertake the revolutionary work that whatever is your right, we will work on giving you the same, be it the media, the bureaucracy, or all institutions. Congress will create the space for you there and give you the right." This speech of Rahul Gandhi was uploaded by the Congress party even on its official website. Now, Mr. Modi is linking this to then Prime Minister Manmohan Singh's 2006 statement. The Prime Minister has attacked Manmohan Singh's particular statement to question if the Congress would redistribute wealth amongst the Muslim community, linking it to the statement of the Prime Minister in 2006, Manmohan Singh, on who should have the country's first right to the resources. The PMO then in 2006 had clarified that Manmohan Singh meant,
will the nationalism pitch and the Hindutva push sway the voter? Join me, Vijay Sharma, for the most dynamic and distinctive coverage, unrivaled political punditry, and the sharpest election analysis. Elections equals CNN News 18.
Guruji. The Lok Sabha election campaign got heated on Sunday as Prime Minister Narendra Modi chose to take on Rahul Gandhi's April 6 statement in Hyderabad, which had promised a financial and an institutional survey for the redistribution of the country's wealth and jobs. Now, top BJP sources say on the Prime Minister's statement that the Prime Minister messages around 3 statements from the Congress camp which are very much on record. Number 1, Rahul Gandhi's statement on April 6 about the wealth redistribution promise. Manmohan Singh's statement in 2006 about the first right of minorities, and the Congress manifesto that speaks about minorities getting their fair share. The BJP is saying that the Congress needs to explain what its intentions are through such statements and promises. Rahul Gandhi had mentioned the redistribution as a sequel to the already promised caste census. To quote Mr. Rahul Gandhi from his April 6th rally in Hyderabad, "We will do a caste census so that the backwards, SCs, STs, poor of the general caste and minorities get to know how much they account for in the country. After that," Mr. Rahul Gandhi said, "we will do a financial and an institutional survey to find who holds the country's wealth, what section holds it, and then we will undertake the revolutionary work that whatever is your right, we will work on giving you the same. Mr. Gandhi said, be it the media, the bureaucracy, or all institutions, Congress will create the space for you there and give you the right. This speech of Rahul Gandhi was uploaded by the Congress party even on its official website. Now, Mr. Modi is linking this to then Prime Minister Manmohan Singh's 2016.
The Thrissur Pooram is known as one of the largest temple festivals and celebrated across the world, followed across the world, and people from all over the world come to Thrissur just to attend this festival. Kerala, known for its rich culture and traditions, and Thrissur Pooram is a festival that is heavily contributing to Kerala's rich cultural heritage. Irrespective of caste, creed, color, religion, age, thousands, in fact lakhs throng Thrissur every year to witness this procession, to immerse into an energy like no other. The Melam, the Panchavadyam, the Vedikatte, all of it, the Kodamatam, all of these are unique. People come together to celebrate this festival. Music, processions, fire, flare, fireworks. More than 1 million devotees have been part of this festival on some occasions. The Pooram is centered around the Vadkunathan temple, right at the center of Thrissur, and of course then you have the Tiruvambadi and the Parmika Devasams along with other temples sending their processions and representations. And this is largely to pay obeisance to Shiva, the presiding deity of the Vadkunathan temple. Now there are many parts to this festival. Unfortunately this year, quite a lot of them were disrupted. Now, those who arrived in Thrissur foregoing their sleep to attend the majestic Pandey Melam, Panchavadyam performances and also the Vedikatte this year were left. Vedikattes are fireworks. They were disappointed by restrictions placed, some scuffles that broke out, confrontation between the cops and the temple committee members, barricades put up by cops in pocket roads, and it was difficult for people to even come to the Swaraj ground around 11 p.m. in the night, although even the court rulings permit them to come till about 2 a.m. But the restrictions were put in place since 9:30 p.m. The ritual that's held with a row of 7 elephants saw some disruptions at the start of the night itself, and with very small, minuscule representations sent by the Tiruvambadi Devasam that took huge offense to the conduct of the local police commissioner, who now stands transferred. Some members of the public, devotees, were also barred from grounds by the police, citing crowd control. Now that led to the temple board members protesting against the curbs, and then reportedly some of the board members were also blocked from the grounds. The Devasam board protested the restrictions, causing delay in the fireworks display. The Vedikatte, that is supposed to begin at 3 a.m., the Brahma Muhurtam around that time, finally began around 7 a.m. and for the first time in the Pooram's history, the fireworks display took place in daylight. It's never ever happened in hundreds of years old tradition. Now this was after many temples participating protested by switching off the lighting on the pandals and also hitting a pause on the Panchavadyams. So what exactly happened? Why were these disruptions witnessed? Many allege that it was unnecessary restrictions placed by the police. The state government now trying to ascertain the facts. The state government has recommended the transfers of 2 top police officials, the commissioner and the assistant commissioner, and asked permission from the poll body to move out the Thrissur district police chief and the assistant commissioner with immediate effect. Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan also directing the state police chief to conduct an investigation into the complaints about the police conduct during the Thrissur Pooram. 2 complaints have been filed against the cops for their conduct, and the state has sought a report on the same. Tom Vadakan, Vivek Srivastav and Lokesh Jindal stay on with us. Mr. Tom Vadakan, the BJP in the state has alleged that it was the presence of certain umbrellas that were going to be used for the Kodamatam that triggered this whole angst from the local commissioner. They have alleged that this is deliberately done to disrupt the Pooram celebrations.
Well, Anand, there's a lot of truth in it. Because this time the Kodamatam, the Koda, that is the umbrella, had digital, display. It is normally not that way. They traditionally come out with the electrical arrangement, but this was digital totally. And the cops looked like they were under some instruction, to be honest with you. The normal practice is for the audience to be closer into Swaraj round, and they were not permitted. They were manhandled. The other exercise that went about is these people who had come from all sections of Kerala and abroad, tourists, were not allowed to be in close vicinity to the entire exercise. And as you mentioned, the Vedicutter was, the years I remember Vedicutter, I have been a resident of Thrissur. I have never missed it. And it's in the middle of the night that the sky is illuminated. Even Washington, D.C., during their celebration, used to use our technology for their celebrations. So that is the kind of range that firework operation was. And here was the police commissioner and his assistant police commissioner saying that there is a situation where we cannot hold it at that time. The Muhurtam was over. And after that, around 7 o'clock during broad daylight, this had to be done. And one more thing, the Maoists who had to feed the elephants were not given permission to reach the elephant. Now, can you imagine a situation where the elephants are not properly fed in time? It could create a situation where, there have been accidents earlier, but this would have been a real man-created tragedy. And this entire exercise, now the left government says, we will institute an inquiry, we are asking the election commission or whatever to take permission to remove them. Now, police officers don't act blindly unless they have information and the information comes from the top. They have acted according to what instructions that were given to them. These officers are victims of the orders that have come from top. Law and order machinery is with the state government. So the left government cannot wash its hands, Anand, on this issue. This has created a situation which has led to a lot of frustration, not only in Thrissur, but all those who came all the way from Kerala, from other parts of Kerala, who had to go back without even seeing the entire operation. Yeah. Now, it's a sad commentary that a festival which is secular, let me redefine, the Christians are involved in it, Muslims are involved in it, Hindus are involved in it. It is one of the most secular festival, I think, Kerala has ever seen. And that has been ruined by instructions from the top, and the police officers have manhandled people. The Devasam board withdrew the elephants. Can you beat this? In the middle of the process, a part of protest, the elephants were withdrawn.
Yeah. The Tirumbadi Devasam particularly withdrew it because we are given to understand, Vivek Srivastav, that there were frantic calls that went from the left candidate of the Lok Sabha elections in Thrissur to the central leadership and said, control this, otherwise the sentiment is going to swing away from us. We're given to understand that the IG of Kerala had to intervene and admonish the commissioner before things were brought. But by then, too much water and too much had gone to pass. The entire festival disrupted.
Look, first of all, the CPI candidate, Mr. V.S. Sunil Kumar, has clearly said that he has issued a statement, unnecessary interference of the police had created a ruckus because they acted without imbibing the spirit of the festival. This is the official statement that he has made. Nobody is foolish enough in the time of elections to be coming out and creating such a ruckus. That's the first part. Second part, Mr. Vadikan is confused. It is the police which goes into the fact finding. It is the police which acts. If there is something in which political leaders are involved or something controversial, then they try to contact the Home Minister. In every state, this is the process. It is not as if the government is running into fact finding and gives the instruction to the police to act. Number two, the police of that area, although you have rightly said, the Chief Minister has acted against the Commissioner and the Assistant Commissioner. They have been transferred. The complaints by the temple boards have been taken and cognizance is being done. However, I would like to add one thing. The amount of pressure because of the BJP and the allied organizations right through Ramzan till the festival of Eid, and now this was immense. We were expecting, and we are very careful over there, the police, that this is election time and no incidents which is unpleasant might happen. The way things have been, the BJP is missing out, mismanaging things in Bengal. We don't want a repetition of the same in Kerala. However, yes, I do agree, the police was over enthusiastic. It should not have done what it did, and the corrective action is being taken. There is no politics behind it. And I believe the police reacted because of the immense pressure, because of these gentlemen. Mr. Suresh Gopi, the BJP candidate over there, he was nowhere in picture. And finally, when everything was solved, he comes over there and tries to take the credit. He tries to take the credit that, he's trying to solve out the problem.
The person who was supposed to be in picture there is the revenue minister of the state, who though not acting as a, and who was absconding from about 8 p.m. in the evening till about 4:35 a.m. in the morning, not taking calls. The person who was absconding was also the collector who pushed on the blame to the commissioner. Now, these are all what sources are telling me here at CNN News 18. And Lokesh Jindal, the point is, whose responsibility is it? Look at the sensitivity when it came to Ramzan. But why the same sensitivity not extended to the Pooram? Is that an unfair question to ask?
Well, Anand, meddling too much into the functioning of state machinery can have serious repercussions. Politicization of every act of administration, do or you don't do, you are damned. This is something which puts tremendous pressure upon the machinery, and that is something which must not be practiced. Because when we have such large public gathering taking place, we have such large processions, it becomes imperative on the police to take a lot of factors into due consideration and act in such a way that the life of the public in a gathering, and there should be minimal loss to life and property. And so too much of meddling and trying to infer it in a wrong manner, politicizes, is something that is unbecoming of a statesman or a leader, I would say. So it is very important that political parties and individuals,
Practice
leaders...
what you preach, sir. I'm asking you a simple question, sir. How is it that even questions have been raised even by the local Congress candidate about what happened with the Thrissur Pooram, and you are saying towing a different line. And my question to you, Lokesh Jindal, is, would your reaction have been so tepid, so amiable, trying to sort out differences had it been a different festival? It's as simple as that. Yeah, no, sir. Why do I ask this question? Why did Mr. Vivek Srivastava had to bring in Ramzan? Because Ramzan is over. 2 weeks to Ramzan already. Why? Why did he have to bring it in here? My simple question is, this is a festival for everybody.
There were restrictions on Eid also.
No, sir. It's not about restrictions. There was no ruckus. Nobody was stopped from doing and celebrating. Nothing happened. Why only with Pooram? No, sir. This was an act of the commissioner. This was an act of the commissioner of Thrissur, and he is not the first time. He is not there. He is not newly appointed overnight like the whatever was said about the DIG in Murshidabad. He is not. He's been there for a long time in Thrissur. He's been there, and there are videos now of him doing the rounds, he has participated. He's a Kerala cadre IPS officer who has participated in these, in Thrissur Pooram festivities in the past. So he knows exactly what was going on. So the question is, after knowing fully well what was going on, why did this happen? The BJP has also alleged a particular trigger. Do you back that, Mr. Tom Bodakkan? You are from Thrissur, so let me ask you. You would have called and tried to find out what exactly happened.
Yes. It was a planned operation which misfired. What happened there on that occasion was the police was under pressure. Now, Mr. Jindal is taking a line that, how it should be managed. But Muralidharan, the member of parliament and a candidate there, clearly blames the left. Mismanagement has happened, and then now they are trying to escape that. The reality is they wanted to create trouble there and create a situation. But interestingly, one thing I want to add...
there has been lathi charge there also we are given.
Yes, lathi charge. And to top it all, it was Mr. Gopi, the MP from the candidate, the BJP candidate, who sat with the collector, asked him, requested him with folded hands to have the firework operation, and it was after that the permission was given in early hours, meaning 7 o'clock, to have that fireworks. Now, how can the BJP get involved in creating a ruckus? Because this is a festival which is financed by Christians, by Muslims, by Hindus. And this is one festival which has no communal color. And that festival they've tried to damage. For what reason? What is their political mind? On what are they working in? I mean, it is something that has left the nation guessing.
Vivek Srivastava.
See, Mr. Vadakan is trying to oversimplify things. With a lot of respect for the opposition over there, primarily the Congress party, we have taken into cognizance what they said, and things were acted upon. Mr. Suresh Gopi basically tried to play politics over there. I mean, he came over there into the collector's office, created a ruckus there also with the BJP people, and it is the intervention of the state chief minister that things were managed in the right way in the end. And the police was also reprimanded. This is where the things stand. But things are so scary, Anand, because of these elections, and we have no confidence in what the RSS, the VHP, the BJP, their cadre will do just to create communal problem. They have been doing it in other parts of the country.
It's so unfortunate,
that
Vivek
is the national
Srivastava.
narrative.
It's so
and
unfortunate and shallow
into an overdrive.
that most of the people who participate in the Thrissur Pooram are actually left votaries. They are not even BJP votaries, and nobody will want to derail a festival like Thrissur Pooram. And the action was purely mandated by the instructions of the police commissioner. Are you trying to say that the police commissioner of Thrissur was actually taking instructions from the RSS? Is that what you are alleging? And the revenue minister who was supposed to be present there was absent. Is he an agent of the RSS?
Now listen to me.
The people, the devotees, there was some board and its members were lathi charged. There are videos circulating all across Kerala media where the police commissioner is actually shouting at the Devasam members and abusing them left, right and center. The Devasam board reduces and pulls back its own in all celebrations. And you're saying this is all orchestrated by the RSS and the BJP?
No. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is the state government and the left government has no role in doing this. The police went into the drive on their own. They were reprimanded and action has been taken. However, the reason what I feel that the police overacted was because there was immense pressure on them as to what the RSS could do next, and it is election time and they were being over careful. This is the whole narrative as to where it stands. It is not as if the state government said go and stop this. No, they did not. They did not. It was acted upon by the police commissioner himself. It was his decision for which he has been reprimanded, and the reason that he went into an overdrive as given by him and the other people in the police force is that there was immense pressure on them to maintain the law and order because the threat from the RSS, the BJP and the
this is a report. This is a report in one of the Kerala newspapers, and on their channels. Apparently, officers who hold close connection with Thrissur and the Pooram were kept off from Pooram duty, raising several eyebrows. The special branch report demands an investigation into all these allegations. The actions of the IPS officer disgrace the entire police force, the report is claiming. The way things transpired, cops who toiled hard for the smooth conduct of the festival also had to face the wrath of the people eventually. The lathi charge on the Pooram day was definitely avoidable, but it just turned into another episode of police high-handedness. Ankit Ashokan had purportedly ordered for a lathi charge during the Pooram at the Vadakanathan temple premises the previous year as well. So it's not the first time that he is the police commissioner there, sir. So to try and blame the left and the BJP and the RSS and etc., it's a little off based on what the Kerala media itself is reporting. Tom Vadakan.
Well, the ground reality is the defense by left is very strange. This is something, I mean, many of the participants are from the left. There are RSS participants, there are BJP participants, there are Congress participants, and Muralidharan, who is a Congress candidate, blames it on left. And as you rightly pointed out, officers who have experience in that area were quietly told to keep away. And this gentleman, who has a checkered record of having a lathi charge done earlier, is put on the forefront. And he is given instruction to act. Now, what that objective was, how it would spin over, but what has actually happened is, it has created a volcanic kind of outburst in the entire Kerala. Because people from every district were there and they were disappointed with what happened. Some of them were beaten up, their clothes were torn. It's never happened. And this is the first time in the history of Thrissur that Pooram has been destroyed.
First time in the history of Sabrimala something happened. First time in the history of Thrissur Pooram something has happened. We leave it at that. Thank you very, very much. With that, we call it a wrap on this edition of The Right Stand. Short break. Stay with us.
The Lok Sabha election campaign got heated on Sunday as Prime Minister Narendra Modi chose to take on Rahul Gandhi's April 6 statement in Hyderabad, which had promised a financial and an institutional survey for the redistribution of the country's wealth and jobs. Now, top BJP sources say on the Prime Minister's statement that the Prime Minister message is around 3 statements from the Congress camp which are very much on record. Number 1, Rahul Gandhi's statement on April 6 about the wealth redistribution promise. Manmohan Singh's statement in 2006 about the first right of minorities, and the Congress manifesto that speaks about minorities getting their fair share. The BJP is saying that the Congress needs to explain what its intentions are through such statements and promises. Rahul Gandhi had mentioned the redistribution as a sequel to the already promised caste census. To quote Mr. Rahul Gandhi from his April 6th rally in Hyderabad, "We will do a caste census so that the backwards, SCs, STs, poor of the general caste and minorities get to know how much they account for in the country. After that," Mr. Rahul Gandhi said, "we will do a financial and an institutional survey to find who holds the country's wealth, what section holds it, and then we will undertake the revolutionary work that whatever is your right, we will work on giving you the same." Mr. Gandhi said, be it the media, the bureaucracy, or all institutions, Congress will create the space for you there and give you the right. This speech of Rahul Gandhi was uploaded by the Congress party even on its official website. Now, Mr. Modi is linking this to then Prime Minister Manmohan Singh's 2006 statement. The Prime Minister has attacked Manmohan Singh's particular statement to question if
प्रचंड बहुमत के साथ हम जीतेंगे। जनता का मोदी जी पर अटूट भरोसा है, अपार प्यार है और बेइंतहा आशीर्वाद भी।
Without Modi, nothing, no BJP is there in this country. That is what they are trying to send a message. But we are not like that. It is the party and the India alliance.
If then 82% or 92% of all ED and CBI cases are against the opposition, I don't think that this corruption hauwa started by the BJP has anything whatsoever.
India alliance is unstable. In Tamil Nadu, phase 1, the engine failure has happened. It is not going to take off. It is very clear people have to vote for NDA for development.
The concept of BJP, the perspective that they are trying to do right now is about Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, but it's nothing like that on the ground.
They can't talk anything against us because they have not done anything. रोजगार के लिए उन्होंने क्या किया था? Something, any substantial thing, did they do it?
Co-powered by. The Lok Sabha election campaign got heated on Sunday as Prime Minister Narendra Modi chose to take on Rahul Gandhi's April 6 statement in Hyderabad, which had promised a financial and an institutional survey for the redistribution of the country's wealth and jobs. Now, top BJP sources say on the Prime Minister's statement that the Prime Minister message is around 3 statements from the Congress camp which are very much on record. Number 1, Rahul Gandhi's statement on April 6 about the wealth redistribution promise. Manmohan Singh's statement in 2006 about the first right of minorities, and the Congress manifesto that speaks about minorities getting their fair share. The BJP is saying that the Congress needs to explain what its intentions are through such statements and promises. Rahul Gandhi had mentioned the redistribution as a sequel to the already promised caste census. To quote Mr. Rahul Gandhi from his April 6th rally in Hyderabad, "We will do a caste census so that the backwards, SCs, STs, poor of the general caste and minorities get to know how much they account for in the country. After that," Mr. Rahul Gandhi said, "we will do a financial and an institutional survey to find who holds the country's wealth, what section holds it, and then we will undertake the revolutionary work that whatever is your right, we will work on giving you the same." Mr. Gandhi said, be it the media, the bureaucracy, or all institutions, Congress will create the space for you there and give you the right. This speech of Rahul Gandhi was uploaded by the Congress party even on its official website. Now, Mr. Modi is linking this to then Prime Minister Manmohan Singh's 2006 statement. The Prime Minister has attacked Manmohan Singh's particular statement to question if the Congress would redistribute wealth amongst the Muslim community.
Good evening, this is Brass Tax. I'm Zakir Jacob. There is a huge furor over what the Prime Minister said yesterday in Banswara in Rajasthan. The PM had said that the Congress manifesto promises redistribution of wealth, and if the Congress came to power, then they would take away the wealth of a large majority of the people of this country and give it to Ghuspetia or infiltrators, those who have more than 2 children, all of which is a clear dog whistle meant for Muslims. He reiterated that attack today to Muslims. The opposition Congress, the